Hello everyone. Today we'll be looking at problem number 242 named valid anagram on leetcode. So it says that given two strings S and T, return true if T is an anagram of S and false otherwise. So we just need to check if whether T is an anagram of S. Then we return true, otherwise we return false. An anagram is a word or phrase formed by rearranging the letters of a different word or phrase, typically using all the original letters exactly once. So here they've given us an example that if it's anagram, they have rearranged the words and then it's anagram. So it's true because all the characters are still the same characters as the ones that are in S here. Red car, so it's obviously the C and the T are the different characters. It's not an anagram. And yeah, so here's some constraints that the length is less than or equal to 5 multiplied by 10 to the power of 4. And then it's also the length also there of S is greater than or equal to 1. So S and T consists of lower case English letters. And then, so we also have this: what if the inputs contain Unicode characters? How would you adapt your solution to such a case? So there's also some Unicode characters that we should factor in our solution. Okay, so I think if we have car, it can also be race. I mean, that's part of the anagram examples. And also if we have maybe knee, it can also be rearranged as kin. Yes, right. Let us jump straight to the solution. First and foremost, we must make sure that the length, obviously the length of the two strings that we've been given must be, if it is not equal to the length of the other string, which is T dot length, then it's going to be a method because it's a string. So length, right? I've spelled it right. So it's going to be, if we find that obviously the length of the two strings is different, then we just need to return a false straight away. Otherwise, then we can start with our logic. We can have what you call the integer arrays, and then I'll call it ints. Or somebody can say characters, yeah, but it's actually ints. Let me just call it ints. And then it's equals to new int. So basically what it means is that we need to have we can have 256, which stands for all the characters. They have 256 here, and then one can come and say, no, let's just use only 26, which is the letters of alphabets. It's fine, can do that as well. And then from there we need to look through either one of the strings, but let's just choose S in this instance. So we'll just say for int I is equals to 0, and then I less than the as the length, which is a method, it's a string, and then I plus plus, right? And then what we need to do here is we need to make sure that we do the following. So if we have our ints, or maybe I should say characters, and then from there we have s dot character at, and then we say I, And then what we'll do is we need to subtract a. The reason we're subtracting a here and say plus plus, it's because we want to do a conversion from this string to a character. If we subtract this two, we'll do what we call as a character subtraction. For instance, for example, we know that maybe 97a is represented by 97, and then we have b represented by 98. So basically what this means here is that we initialize all the values here because it's an array of size 26, so we'll have an array that has about 26 zeros in that format. So I just continues and so on and so forth. So what happens is that if we have this, we'll have say for example the character at this position is a b, then it's going to subtract it from a, which is going to be 98 minus 97, and then which is going to give us 1. And then we'll have at index 0, 1, we'll have this value, and then it's going to be incremented by 1, and then it's going to go to 1. And then if we find it again, it's going to go to 2, and so on and so forth. So now, if it has been moved to 1, and then we also do the same thing in this other one. So we'll say ints, and then, but instead of s here, we'll have a t character at I, and then we just subtract a once again, and then after subtracting a, then we would like to decrement it. The reason we're decrementing it is because now we are sort of cancelling it out. It's like when you have x minus x, then it cancels out, right? And then that's the whole reason. And then once we reach this point, it means that everything must be 0 because they're of the same length. And then if the characters are the same, they must have cancelled each other out. So would only have zeros. But then if we find that there's no 0, let's do that quickly. For each int, I'll just name it count in ints. And then if we find that the count is not 0, it is not 0, it means that we have a problem. We don't have the same characters. We must immediately return a false. And then if we manage to reach or finish up our loop without any problems, then we know that indeed the characters are there, and they did cancel each other out. Let's just run it to see if whether our solution works. All right, so we have our tests accepted. Let's just do a submission quickly. Okay, so it does accept it without any issues. Thank you for your time. We've reached the end of our solution. Do consider subscribing, and if you have any questions, you can comment in the comment sections, and then I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Cheers.